Today, we're diving into one of the biggest questions facing the UK's financial future. Can it become a global leader in digital assets, or will it fall behind as other countries race ahead? With the US doubling down on crypto and the EU establishing clear rules, the UK is at a crossroads. What's holding it back, and what needs to happen next? Let's break it down. Hi everybody, and welcome again to the latest episode of Enter Crypto with me, Chris Kenyon. Now, if you like to stay up to date on all the goings on in the cryptoverse, then consider subscribing. I'm putting out a video pretty much every day, and by subscribing, you can basically guarantee that you won't miss out on any future updates. And especially if you live in the UK as well, because I do cover a lot of regulatory, frameworks and goings on in relation to crypto. Now, in today's video, we're going to be talking about this kind of critical juncture in the world of digital assets that's kind of happening in the UK, because like many other countries, the UK is actually racing to build a regulatory framework that is going to nurture the growth of crypto and digital finance, whilst also hoping to protect everyday investors. But there is a catch. It needs to move quickly if it wants to keep pace with global competitors. And recently, these stakes just got higher. This is because across the Atlantic, things are shifting fast. Now, as we all know, the United States is the world's largest economy, and it's always been a key market for cryptocurrencies. And with Donald Trump's recent return to the Oval Office, the crypto space is getting a fresh boost over there. Trump, who once dismissed digital assets a long time ago, he's now seems to be all in. He's calling for the US to become the Bitcoin superpower of the world. And his victory alone managed to send Bitcoin soaring to a record $75,000 not long after, and it's now sitting at $92,000, $93,000. It is, as investors celebrate his promises to end what he called the crypto persecution. Now, for the UK, this serves as a wake-up call. It needs to make good on its crypto promises, or we're going to risk getting left behind. And as far as the UK government's perspective is concerned, if they want to see how it's done, they should be looking to the EU. Yes, the EU's markets in crypto assets regulation, or MiCA, it does have its critics, like me, but it is undeniably given the industry this sort of stable framework to operate within. So businesses know the rules. This builds trust and it encourages growth. And in the UK, we are still waiting on similar regulations. If you take, for instance, the new fiat-backed stablecoin framework, this was supposed to roll out earlier in the year, but delays keep piling up and there's nothing new yet, and we're in November. So as you can imagine, it's understandable now if businesses are beginning to wonder, what is the UK waiting for? The UK has these ambitions of becoming a digital asset hub, but the regulatory uncertainty is hindering its chances. And with the US and the EU moving forward, the UK cannot afford to sit idle. And it's not just about big names in the crypto industry. The little man and the retail investors like me and you also deserve the protection and clarity that strong, consistent regulations would provide. Now, on the positive side, the UK's FCA, which is just a branch of the government really, has done some good work enforcing existing rules, but let's be honest, more can be done. And one way to make an immediate impact would be speeding up approvals for crypto firms. Right now, businesses face an average wait of around 459 days for AML, anti-money laundering registration, which, that's over a year. That is just way too long, and it can be fixed. It's avoidable, is that? At least in part, by increasing the staffing within the FCA would be just one example. And while more staff will not solve everything, it'll certainly help address these types of bottlenecks. And there's another sticking point. This whole uncertainty around a CBDC, that's a central bank digital currency, even as stablecoins thrive in the crypto space. The Bank of England has been indecisive about launching its own CBDC, and this is having some UK banks holding back on tokenized deposits as they are basically waiting to see which way the bank's going to go. And if both of them are waiting on each other, then nothing will move forward. This is going to leave the UK trailing behind. And so here is the bottom line. Digital assets are a fast evolving frontier of finance, and regulators need to keep up. The UK has already set out a thoughtful roadmap, but it's time to show real progress. And rushing through regulations isn't the goal, but neither is stalling, indefinitely. So what we're talking about here is building this balanced approach. It's one that safeguards retail investors, but also allows room for innovation, especially in wholesale markets, where you get sort of more sophisticated investors that are better equipped to handle risk than your average Joe. So time really isn't on the UK's side. Other jurisdictions across the globe are making major moves. And if the UK does not step up, and by the UK I mean the UK government, we're going to risk losing ground here. So for the government and the regulators like the FCA, building and executing what I would call a comprehensive digital asset framework isn't just this sort of nice to have thing. It's a necessity. So this is now the moment to actually act. And if the UK seizes it, then we have got a real chance to lead here. If it hesitates, then it could be watching from the sidelines as others basically define the future of digital finance. So where does this leave the UK in the digital asset race? Well, it's clear that the country has huge potential, but it's time to turn talk into action. And as the EU and the US are pushing forward, the UK must step up, or we're just going to risk getting left behind. And so that's what I've got for you today, guys. As always, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my breakdown here, then make sure that you like the video, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. What do you think? Can the UK catch up and lead in this digital asset space? I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.